When we have one Microsoft Azure account, the default domain really looks odd, isn't it? Like Somnath Das Live on Microsoft.com. And it is being taken from the ID which we used to sign up for our personal account. And if I want to create one new user for this particular Microsoft Azure Entra ID, for example, if I click on create new user, there is only one domain which is the default one. How can we integrate our own custom domain with our Azure Active Directory or Entra Active Directory? Well, I have one domain which I created for some testing purposes, and let me grab that domain which is dascafe.in and let me try to integrate that with Azure Entra AD. Let's get started. First of all, from the home screen of Microsoft Azure, let's search for Entra. So you'll get this Microsoft Entra ID. Click on that and we will get the basic details like primary domain, tenant ID and other things. What I'll simply do, and obviously along with that, as we will be using our custom domain, you need to log in with your domain registrar or wherever your DNS is managed. In my case, my DNS is managed in Cloudflare. So I have already logged in my Cloudflare account, and this is my domain which is dascafe.in, and we need to add some records. And before that, on the Microsoft side, let's click on custom domain names under your Active Directory. Click on that. You will see the default domain was created whenever you signed up. Now what we will do, we will click on add custom domain. This plus icon, just click on that and it will ask you for the domain name. Type in your domain name which is dascafe.in for me and let me click on add domain. It has been added, and what it is saying, I need to add some records. Let me grab those things. Let me copy this one before I can click verify button. So copying this destination point address and let me go to my DNS record. I'll click on add record, and this console might look little bit different depending on your platform, maybe GoDaddy or other things. But yeah, concept is pretty much same. Click on add a record. In the type, select a text record which is txt, and as you see the instruction, it should be at the root level which is @. So let me put @ over here. Time to live, and we can take this time to live, and 3600 is 1 hour. Let me take it as 1 hour TTL, and the value which I have just copied, which is this one, ms equals to something something, copied and paste that. It supports any commenting on that. Commenting is optional. So I'm giving one comment just to recognize whenever I revisit this, and let me click on save, and it's here, it is added. What I'll simply do, I'll come to my Azure AD console. Let's click on verify button now. And it is showing successfully verified the domain directory, which is good because I need to prove that I own this domain. Now let's come out of this and let me hit refresh in the custom domain names, and the custom domain is now appearing. What I'll quickly do, I'll click on users, then I'll click on new user, and of course we can make that domain primary. We'll check that and create new user. Click on that. I'll change the domain. It's not appearing. So maybe come back and let me refresh the entire portal. Entra ID again. Let me check the custom names. It's there. And once you go inside that, you will see one button and you can make this primary. But that should not be a blocker to create one user. Let me check that again. Users, new user, create a new user. Now it is appearing. Let me take the dascafe.in. Any username is just fine. Display name and auto-generated password, that's fine with me. Let me click on this copy button, or you can even type manually. But yeah, let's take this one. An account enabled, yes. Review and create. Click on create and successfully created the user. Let me refresh this one, and this is my username. Let me copy that username also, is @dascafe.in. What I'll quickly do, I'll assign some permissions to this user so that it can create few resources on Azure. Let me grab one subscription. I'll go to access control IAM. Under access control IAM, I'll click on add role assignment. I'll take privileged administrator roles and I'll take contributor. Click on next. User groups or service principals, that's fine. I'll be clicking on select members. Here my user ID is appearing, or we can even search. So this is the one. Select, next, review and assign. It is done as per the notification. Let's click on role assignments just to double verify, and it is having the contributor role. Okay, that's great. Let me open up one incognito window and let us try to log in with the new user ID. So that is portal.azure.com. It will ask me for the username, which is right here. Copy that, paste it, next. And here is my password. I'll be copying that, paste it, sign in. And it is asking me to update my password. Okay, the current password is this one. I'll be providing some new password. Same password, click on sign in. And it is showing I need some additional security like two-factor authentication. I can click on next. And here for the second factor authentication, you can use Microsoft Authenticator app, which is available on Play Store or your iOS store, whatever it is. Or we can use a different app. In my case, I normally use Google Authenticator. So I want to use different authenticator app. Click on that. I'll be clicking on next. And I need to scan this QR code from my authenticator app. So I'll be scanning that and I'll be clicking on next as it is scanned. And I need to enter the code which is appearing in my authenticator app. So let me grab that 152. Next. An authenticator app is successfully registered. Click on done. Stay signed in. That's fine. Click yes. And here we go. Welcome to Microsoft Azure, whatever it is. Get started. Skip. I do not want to answer that. Skip and got it. This is my home screen, the fresh login and the user ID is showing over here. And let me click on subscriptions and let's see. Yes, as I have given access to that particular subscription, only one subscription is showing over here. I can click on that. I can go to settings in the subscription and let me try to create one resource group. As I have the contributor access, I'll be clicking on create button. Any random name, region, that's fine, not a problem. And review and create. Create. Resource group is created and it is showing over here. So that is how we can map our custom domain. We can create users in our Entra ID or Microsoft Azure AD and we can provide different roles to those users depending on our requirement. That is it for this video. Thanks for watching. We will meet you in some next topics.